hello and welcome to the very first episode of Smokes and Spirits, where this crew here is going to try to accomplish three things, mostly for our pleasure and maybe a little bit for yours. We're going to smoke good cigars, we're going to drink good bourbon, and in our very first season, what we're going to do is break down what we think are the 32 greatest comedies of all time in an NCAA style bracket. But before we get started on the movies, let's tell you a little bit about the cigars we're smoking today and the bourbon we're drinking today. This is the Liga Underground Sun-Grown, a premium cigar produced by Drew Estates out of Esteli, Nicaragua. Drew Estates makes the very famous Liga brand, Liga 9. And the story is that they got so popular with the rollers, but they got so popular in the marketplace as well that the rollers couldn't smoke them anymore. So they started making these, and these became so good that Drew Estates decided to release them as well. The Liga goes from anywhere from $19 to $25, depending on the size, and the Underground is a $9 to $10 cigar. Very mid-range cigar and a very excellent smoke. It's got a Ecuadorian Sumatra sun-grown wrapper, which makes it a little bit stronger and a little bit oilier, which by the way makes it excellent for aging, as I've aged these for probably 6 months now. The binder is a Connecticut River Valley stalk cut and cured sun-grown, also for extra strength, and it's got a Nicaraguan filler made from the Ligero leaf in Esteli off of the Drew Estates farm. It's a medium to full-bodied cigar, red pepper, spice, earthy sweetiness, and definite leather undertones. What we're drinking today is the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Barrel Proof, 116.4 proof, slightly less hot than most barrel proofs, but if you're used to drinking the regular Jim Beam's, Buffalo Trace, it's still very hot because they come in around 83 proof. What this is known for is being chill filtered, and then once it goes into the barrel, no water is added, and it's barreled just bottled just as it comes out of the barrel. Wild Turkey is an excellent distillery with some of the greatest budget bourbons around, and at $40 to $50 to $55, the barrel proof is a really good drink. So, as we each try our drinks, introduce yourselves and what version of the drink are you imbibing in?
My name is Eric Noble. I will be drinking it with some ginger ale.
Highball.
A little highball.
Ryan Brickmeyer, also known as Silk. I'll be having it just on a rock.
Nick Schumer, known as Schumi, and I have a rock as well.
Tim Spink, drinking it neat.
Mike Weiss, we're drinking it the Manhattan.
And Scott Osborne, also known as Ozzy, drinking it neat.
So what we're going to do now is we move on to the movie part of the discussion, which hopefully people will find interesting. It's the 32 greatest movies of probably our lifetimes and in our experience. Comedy movies, thank you. And we're going to, in the first episode, we're going to narrow it down to 32 because we all got different lists. The next episode, we're going to get 4 18 brackets. And then each week after that until we're finished, we're going to each watch 2 movies a week, break them down during the podcast, and come up with a champion at the end of however many weeks that takes. So, gentlemen, let's get into the discussion of the best movies of all time. Comedy movies of all time. Let's do this.
All right.
So, real quick, start by how you came up with your list. Because a comedy movie is real subjective. So, for example, my list. I thought, okay, if I watch it and I'm scrolling through the TV, if it's on, am I going to watch it? Like, do I immediately turn to it, yes or no?
See, you put a lot of effort into your list. I found this thing called Google that had the 100 best comedy movies, and I chose what I wanted off of it.
To add what you said, Mike, I also added, when I see the movie title, do I immediately laugh or, am I taken back to the memories of
Yep.
that
Can you
is funny?
quote something from
Yes.
the movie?
I'm not
That's
great
where
at
I'm
that, though.
So that's kind of where I'm at on it, is where do I pull some of the one-liners from, and obviously the more you can pull from a movie, obviously it had more of an impact and enjoy it.
Those are my higher ranked ones.
Silk is the movie drop king.
Mm-hmm.
When we're playing golf, which we do all summer long, he's always dropping comedy bombs.
Yeah, right.
Should we start?
Yes, honestly, there's one that I think, and I will fight all of you if it's not on this list, is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
So I watched that this morning because it's been 105 years.
And?
It's been 105 years.
At least. An unbelievable amount of drops come from that movie.
Yes.
The movie itself is not good.
No.
But it's
The
funny
drops
as
are
hell.
insanely hysterical.
Yes, it's funny.
Right.
The movie, I love the movie in general, but you're right. It's not like a well-written movie, a well-directed movie. It is just funny.
But I can tell you from that one, you laugh from the credits.
Now,
100%.
Shumi, have you ever
Yeah.
seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
So as an adult, no, but I'm pretty confident in grade school we had to, we were forced to watch
There's
this.
no way.
There's
There's no way you were watching that in grade school.
No,
No. This is not what we would call a child appropriate movie.
I think I know it.
He's like, I'm pretty sure I've heard of the story of the Holy Grail.
So on that note, can you include cartoons?
I don't have any cartoons.
I don't have any cartoons.
But I do have one. It's actually my number one is pre-2000.
All right.
So if I
Well,
What's your number
Lay it
one?
out, lay it out.
Tommy Boy,
One?
Number one. Okay.
number one comedy for me.
Okay.
It's on high on my list, but I wouldn't go my top
I think
10.
you-
But I agree,
I think
it should be on the
it's-
list.
It should be in the bracket.
Did it clear.
What about, how do you guys feel about Airplane?
Absolutely.
That's Airplane's my number one.
I have a lot of movies to watch coming up.
Same as like Caddyshack.
Airplane, Caddyshack, and
I'm
You are un-American.
I know. No, I think there was a conversation the other day about Caddyshack. I think there's some really good lines in it, but as watching it from beginning to end, it's just I just don't know if it belongs in a top 32 bracket with the other movies that we're bringing into it.
I think now I haven't even seen this all the way through, but as the golfers we are, I think that movie has to be included.
I can't believe you have 20 more.
Well, okay, let's take a little little detour here. We got really two golf movies that are going to be up for consideration unless I'm missing one. Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're both in the top.
Both one.
Happy Gilmore is in my top 10.
I think you can put both those in the top 32 for sure.
I
A
mean,
movie that has Bob Barker fighting somebody. Like,
valid.
I'm just saying I would be having that seated down low.
We can put it on the list, and if we get to the point where we have 34, 35, then we start discussing what are the ones that we want to. Are there any below the line that we want to bring in?
Yeah, we can bring the boxing gloves and figure this shit out.
all right, so now I want to hear as your professional opinion. What is your top?
I agree with the ones we have so far. I don't know how many people have seen this, but Young Frankenstein.
It's on my list.
It was hovering on my list.
It's on every list I Googled.
I
but
don't
I've
find
never
it
seen
overly funny.
And I can't say that I've watched it.
Yeah, it's from 1934. I mean,
It's not from 1930.
It's from 1912.
No.
No,
No,
1970.
Is that really?
72.
Okay, well then I will put it in the same category as Blazing Saddles.
See, I don't like Blazing Saddles. I was never a fan of that movie.
Oh my gosh.
Versus even Caddyshack.
I mean, it was a good movie. I wouldn't put that in any of my top.
All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set those out of the list, but put them on the side.
Whatever happens, you guys need to watch.
you don't have a list, right?
I've got a list.
Top three. What do you got?
We're obviously going to have a lot of crossovers, but I can pull.
I have one that I'm ready to fight for as my number 2. But when I think of this movie, I just immediately, it's so funny, and that's Grandma's Boy.
I don't have on my list.
Never
I
heard
love
of
it.
Never heard of it.
I mean, I like the movie.
Really?
I like the movie.
I watched the movie, you haven't. He smokes weed, and it's hilarious.
I put that on the outer.
Right, I'm ready to fight
No,
for that.
and is how high on yours?
No, it isn't, but I love it. I enjoy it.
Would you agree with me? As a movie standpoint, it's dumb, but
Oh,
it's hilariously
The
dumb.
majority of
Oh,
ours
just how-
is
really dumb.
Of just how
Yeah.
stupid it is,
Yes.
but it's so funny.
All right, let's take a breath for a moment, guys. What do you think of the burger?
I really am enjoying
Yeah.
it.
It's got a great
Yeah, there
finish.
is no burn.
It's got a great finish, but it's got an initial like a tongue, like tip of the tongue, early mouth burn.
Yeah.
Which I like.
I get no burn going down. I get
No.
a little burn at the
Yep.
beginning.
I want to know from you,
I
cigar boy, what do you think of your cigar?
get less burn from the
The
bourbon
cigar.
than I do from the cigar.
To be fair, you've got ginger ale in there.
Yes, but like to be fair, like, I would much rather be smoking something else. But to be part of the fan club, I have tried this, and I have a little bit of a head buzz from the 4 or 5 little tokes I've had on this. I feel like I'm at a bar
You mean light for you?
smoking ban.
You are.
Yeah, which is interesting. All right,
And what do you think?
So as I've been smoking cigars more recently, it's a little bit heavier, Tim.
Yes.
But it's still it's not overpowering and still enjoyable. And so far, I have a great burn going on and have been enjoying this.
So we'll do a bunch of lighter and darker cigars. But what everybody knows about me at the table is number one, I like the fuller bodied cigars. I also like the larger ring gauge. So this is a Gordo. And to take care of my friends who like Robustos and Toros, I'm going to get some of those for in the future. I'll also get some Churchill wrappers with a little bit lighter. It's interesting when you do cigars and bourbons together. You can pair them. Well, any way you want, really, right? Sure. This whole thing is about what do you like. But in general, there's 2 ways to pair them. You can have them be comparable. For example, these two are fuller. a heavier bourbon because of the proof, a spicier cigar. But you can also go in contrast, like a Connecticut shade wrapper, which is a lighter taste on the cigar, would go really well with this. This probably, even though you're not a smoker, goes really well with the Manhattan.
Yes.
Even though it's a heavier bourbon, you got a sweeter
So,
taste on the bourbon.
Because I feel like this for me, at least in the front end, is a lot, I guess, earthier. I guess a little more earthy flavor. It's not as spicy. Where this has a little more spice into
It's
it.
got a lot of spice to it.
So,
But I'm curious how it goes.
This doesn't taste like smoke to me.
Most people who try cigars for the first time don't try good cigars for the first time.
Yes.
No, in any cigar, there's really 3 cigars, especially the larger cigars. The first third is going to have a different flavor than the second third. Then the second third is going to taste different than the first third. Most of that is because of the amount of smoke you're going to draw through the tobacco. It's building up and building up, so you're going to get a much more powerful smoke
Good.
on the last third.
I'd like to throw 2 in there. I think Spaceballs is an automatic.
Spaceballs is automatic hit.
Jimmy, have you seen Spaceballs?
Not a question asked.
I've tried.
PlayStation.
I
I don't know how you
PlayStation.
play it.
My PlayStation one.
I've never seen Spaceballs, but I know enough about it to know it belongs in the top.
Yes.
You've got no argument from the old guy on Space Man.
And I'm going to throw another one that's kind of an outlier that may have been forgotten. I don't know. But I'm going to throw Strange Brew into the mix.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
You're welcome.
Well done.
I don't know that.
I'm gonna
Oh,
do I'm gonna do a similar thing I did with the 2 golf movies, and I'm gonna say let's compare and contrast.
Yep.
Strange Brew and Beer Fest.
Beer Fest on mine. How did I forget that one? Damn it, I feel dumb.
Strange Brew is SCTV, the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live that had Eugene Levy, Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis is in Strange Brew, and he and his I forget his brother's actor name. The Great White North.
Yeah.
Take off, Ozer. And
Mackenzie.
the Mackenzie brothers.
Yeah.
And the Beer Fest is by what's the name of the troupe?
Broken Lizard.
Broken Lizard, who also did Super Troopers.
Now that was on my list.
That's on my list. Super Troopers on the list.
The boys ever been to Mexico?
You want to do 2 beer movies, 1 beer movie?
See, I would put Beer Fest over Strange Brew.
I haven't seen that.
And I'm impartial to it in the fact that I like both of them, but they both bring different things to the table.
Yes.
They do
100%.
bring different
So-
things to the table.
You know, they're completely unrelated besides the beer.
Now here's a non-traditional movie. What about Team America? World Police?
It's not. It's more on the animated side,
I
right?
say, isn't that an
It's
animated
funny.
movie?
It's puppets.
It's puppets.
I passed over that a few times, did not decide to put it on the list.
Right, I looked at it a couple times and I passed.
Let me throw out a post 2000
All right.
that
I'm not
I
sure.
think is hilarious. At least for me, one of the funniest films I've ever seen, and that is Ted.
Yes, I love Ted.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
See, I love Ted, but I don't think it's one of my top 32.
Really?
I can see that,
It's
but
not in my top 20. I don't know if it would make my 32, but I wouldn't argue against it.
I did find it hilarious when I watched
Yeah,
it.
for my criteria of
Yes.
does it make me laugh thinking about it? Yes. And if it's on, do I immediately watch it?
and then the other one that shoot me a note hasn't seen this, but Animal House.
It's on my list.
It would be in my top 32
Top 10.
because it just had such an impression
Mhm.
from my younger
Exactly.
days.
How many times we're playing golf and we're getting really frustrated and one of us says, we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
It's there.
I've never seen the movie. I know the reference. Do you guys all have? This is rounding out my top 5. Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
In your
I would
top-
agree with that. It's not my top, but yes.
Okay.
I mean, it would make a top 32 for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we'll rank it, but
Sure,
is it in
sure.
the 32? I think it's an easy
Yep.
choice.
I like something about Mary as
It's
well.
on my list.
You know, I think. Have you seen that one? After
Absolutely.
you watched it, read
Absolutely.
your list.
All right, what about some high production? Like planes, trains, automobiles, trading places, some high production.
So I cannot agree with Planes, Trains, and
No, I can't either.
I cry
The ending.
uncontrollably at that movie when it's not a comedy to me. I saw it as a kid
Okay.
and cried when Steve Martin is yelling at John Candy. The kid is just trying to be a nice guy, and Steve
Yep.
Martin's just not understanding
Okay.
how nice of a guy he is. I know it's.
You laugh, you cry. What's not to
I
like?
didn't laugh. I just cried.
You guys know this one, but it's older as well. Trading Places.
Love
I
it.
have it on my list.
It's on the list.
I like it. I won't oppose it.
Sure.
Can we go back into like the 80s and do Police Academy?
Love it. On the list. That movie's hysterical.
Some of us weren't born in the 80s.
The original.
One of us wasn't born in the 80s.
One of us wasn't.
One of us
To be
was
fair,
not. I wasn't born in the
We
80s
weren't
either.
born.
I was old in the 80s.
I don't know. I just love Police Academy.
I
I don't know if
enjoy
it's
And I know
on
where
the
you're
list.
coming from, and I get it, and but I don't know if there's just so many more movies that
There are. That's why I was kind of throwing it out
superseded
there.
it. Just kind of taking over where that was because it's not the same, right? It was
Let me put it on this. Let me put on the first 4 out for me.
Yep.
Stripes. Here's my. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
So okay, stripes. While they're in basic training,
Yes.
absolutely belongs on this list. And when they leave basic training, absolutely does not belong on this
Agreed.
list.
The first half is hilarious.
It gets serious.
It gets serious.
Takes a turn.
Yeah, Stripes is actually my first one off.
Mm.
My top.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because it's just like one of those things where you're right. It just doesn't flow from beginning to
Yeah,
end.
so
correct.
I say no for that. Then. I mean, Revenge of the Nerds.
The Police
I-
Academy comes Revenge of the Nerds, right?
See, to
They're
me,
similar
Revenge of the
to
Nerds
me.
like is a great movie for its time, but I don't know if it's a.
That's not an aging well movie.
No, it's
fair
not.
enough.
That's the same as like the three Amigos,
I've got that on my list as
I
well.
love 3 Amigos.
but it doesn't.
You
age
shot the
well.
burning bush!
I think that belongs on the list.
You're not a fan of that, though, are you?
No.
No.
I enjoyed the movie.
Any of you guys have 40-Year-Old Virgin on here?
Yes.
There's one. I think 40-Year-Old Virgin
I love-
is hilarious.
It's a good. I won't say it's in my top 20, but it's in the top 32.
We all agree on Step Brothers. I mean, that's a I think
I
that's
can. Yeah.
Yep.
okay. So that's one I have.
Talladega
I have
Nights.
Talladega Nights.
Step Brothers is the one.
I would go Step
Brothers.
Brothers.
I agree.
I think both
Both.
should be. As someone who likes newer movie,
But so as Smink was mentioning, I prefer Will Ferrell in smaller supporting roles, leading roles.
Old school.
Old school.
Right, I think he's amazing in that.
Mhm.
Wedding Crashers, he's amazing in that. Carrying the whole movie, where I feel like Step Brothers, they're co-stars, so
Mhm.
he doesn't have to carry the whole thing himself. Talladega Nights, he's taking more of the lead. I don't put it as high on the list.
What about,
let me throw one more newer one out there: The Hangover.
This movie didn't make my list.
like, it's been long enough that I haven't seen it, but I remember when it came out, I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah, very
I
good.
agree with that.
If you Google any top 100 lists, it's on.
It's on there.
It is, because I laughed so hard at that movie when it came out, and I use a lot of lines from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree, I think that should be on the list.
Ferris Bueller.
That's a no for me.
That's a no.
Dog.
That's a no for me, dog.
That's a little weird.
That didn't make my list. I like the movie. It didn't make my list.
But yeah, right.
The comedy aspect wasn't awesome.
Correct. I think they had it's a great movie from start to finish. Just the comedy factor was a little bit lower.
Bridesmaids.
I have it on mine.
I feel like I've seen. It's not on my list, but I feel like I've seen.
I mean,
Melissa
for a full
McCarthy,
female like
Julie.
correct cast,
Yeah.
basically,
It was-
I have never
Maybe-
laughed harder. at a
It
full
was
female.
my top all-female.
Yeah, 100%.
comedy.
I mean, if it's
I've
between that and
No
the
offense,
female
a little bar.
Ghostbusters.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's my only all-female comedy.
Well, again,
Not Ghostbusters the remake?
Right.
I don't even have Ghostbusters.
question he has on his list.
I would like, yeah.
Well, okay, so as we've kind of gone through my top 10, I have one more where I know you guys will say I think there's funnier productions of the same kind of, but I haven't seen them, and that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation. I have that on my list,
I think
but
Vacation's
But
better.
and that's what you
I
guys
think
have said.
Vacation's better.
But Christmas Vacation is so
I
funny.
think Christmas Vacation better. than
But
Vacation.
I'm not the biggest Chevy Chase fan. Hey,
Yeah, we know.
I think Vacation's better. This
I get
You,
it.
you like Vacation or Christmas Vacation?
10 minutes from the fucking fun farm and you don't want to bail out. We're gonna have so much fucking fun. You're gonna be whistling Zippity Doo Dah.
Christmas Vacation.
I have Vacation on my, even if it doesn't make the list.
Have you seen it?
I have not. I've only seen Christmas Vacation, but I know I need to
If
see.
I had to choose, Vacation would be it for me.
Yeah.
Correct.
How about this? I have a boyfriend and we French kissed, so yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best.
All right, so you
We
got
can
the
do
two
both.
top-
We can do both, but I will actually go to the mat for the original
The
Vacation.
original Vacation?
I'll tag team with you on that. I'll fight with you. I like Vacation.
Really? Because if I was going to go in that genre, I'd take Spies Like Us.
Yeah.
Another one that probably didn't make your list because you forgot about it.
It is.
Dodgeball's number 11.
100%.
Yes.
Is there a movie that we drop more than Dodgeball?
What about,
Dodgeball's
if
on.
we're going, what about Black Sheep?
But Tommy Boy, I think, has to stay on that. Black Sheep would be questionable because,
Tommy Boy's in, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then what about like American Pie?
I'm there with American Pie. I love
I
American
thought
Pie.
American
I
Pie.
have seen parts, not all the way through, but
Oh, God,
it did not
You
make
got American
it
Pie?
it did not make my
Did
list.
that, what, so I
Questions it on the bottom, but I mean, it could go in.
Now, would you put American Pie though over Ted?
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Really?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. You need to watch American
Wayne's
Pie.
World? No.
Because you know what I'm going to put ahead of that?
What, Schindler's List?
I mean, if it fucking fits, you've been sitting on that one for a
I
while.
have.
No, you know what I put over that one is Kingpin.
Or Big Lebowski?
Okay, Big Lebowski's in my top 10. Kingpin's number 26.
Big Lebowski.
So here's,
I mean,
So are we saying no
It's a
to Wayne's
Munson.
World then? I mean, I'm okay with it. It's on the bottom of my list.
Yeah, I'm a no to Wayne's
Yeah,
World.
I don't think
I
Wayne's
love
World makes the list.
I love it, but I don't
I
think.
don't think it's, what about Idiocracy?
Never seen it.
Never
Which one?
seen
Idiocracy?
I know it, but I've
no,
never
because it's happening right now. It's not funny anymore
Is it
because it's
documentary?
real.
It's no longer a comedy. Documentaries are off this list.
Although it's funny.
What about like multiplicity? There's no way he's seen multiplicity.
No, yeah.
I haven't seen multiple.
I didn't either.
You haven't seen multiplicity?
Michael Keaton.
I'm Steve.
I mean,
That's in the category I've never even heard of.
yeah, we haven't even gone through like Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber.
I debated Dumb and Dumber, but
Nor have we gone through Austin Powers.
Yeah.
There's only one, Goldmember.
Only one.
We've
Only
talked
one.
about it,
Yes.
but I think he's right. Goldmember is the best of the three.
Uh huh.
I would agree.
Which
Which is even more amazing because think of how many great comedies
Or the third.
have had unwatchable sequels. Caddyshack 2, horrible. Airplane 2, horrible. Anchorman 2,
Ted 2 is
the
hilarious.
worst movie I've ever not watched all the way through in my
Hangover
life.
2, Hangover 3.
So on that note, real quick, Ted 2. Because I don't know, there's an unrated version of Ted 2.
How is that funny?
Just I didn't know there was one. I'm in awe.
I mean, the only thing funny about Ted is the friggin' teddy bear cursing all the time.
Other than he just sitting there with all the hookers and the shit on the floor.
It's my teddy bear.
I think the character John, played by Walt, it's hilarious. I love Ted. I love the Ted movie.
Ted's good. Ted 2's good.
Do we have Ted?
Yeah, we have Ted.
So the only one other one on my list that maybe you guys would have, have we said anything about the Water Boy?
No, have not yet.
Where do we land on Happy Gilmore? Because it's like,
Well, we all agreed on Happy Gilmore. So
like if we're gonna take an Adam Sandler movie, would I take Happy Gilmore over?
They were on the list as both, and we were going to
Yeah.
get back to them, I thought.
Let's see where the list goes, and then we can kind of narrow it
Just
down.
so you know, we're at 26.
wow.
Wow.
All right, so let's jump back to the 70s for a minute. How about The Jerk?
Yeah, I mean,
Love The Jerk. I think The Jerk has to be on there. And I also think Raising Arizona should be on there. Change.
See, I don't remember that one.
Okay. Of the two, I would put The Jerk on, right? Okay.
So the only one on my list that's very high for me, and I think we have it in the first 4 hours, is still Grandma's Boy, which
Yeah.
a couple of you guys have not
I think
seen.
that's a. I think it's a. You know, that's a niche one. I think it's hysterical.
See, that's the same as like for his Grandma's Boy, it's like my Clerks.
See, Clerks, I enjoyed. Yeah, like.
I like
laughed
Clerks,
my
but-
ass off.
Okay.
So here's a couple. What about Zoolander?
I didn't care for
yeah, I was just saying, I didn't really.
I enjoyed it. I don't think it's
That's fine.
that level.
Here's an older one. Grumpy Old Men.
That's a
No.
good one. Didn't make my list because I didn't think about it.
Here's a movie you won't think is a comedy, but I loved it. So, Princess Bride.
I have it on my list.
It's on my list.
Is that
I love
with
that
Young
movie.
and Hathaway?
Oh,
That's the Princess Diaries here, yo.
I was so quick with it.
He was
He
like,
was, he was.
he's like,
I tried.
I know this one.
I tried.
I mean, I am not opposed to The Princess Bride. That's one of my favorites.
That's fun.
I love the movie. I don't put it in the same genre as the rest of the comedies we have.
Agreed. It's not as much of a comedy as the rest of them, but I laugh still.
You know what I mean? It's like I love Mrs. Doubtfire, but I'm not gonna put that. Even though Robin
I think-
Williams, and I love Robin Williams,
Same as Coming to America.
I'm with you. Like,
I've come to America.
can we just share the list? 'Cause
Right.
What about The Mask?
There's way
I've
better.
seen that,
There's
but
way better. What about Meet the Parents?
It's not a bad one.
I mean,
would
You
you?
have
Timmy and I
choice.
talked about this when we got here. What about versus a movie like Superbad?
I wasn't a big fan of Superbad.
To me, I put
It's
that,
at the bottom of my.
I put that in the same category as Stripes. The first
Yeah.
30 minutes, every minute is hilarious.
I would
It's a
honestly-
big, throbbing, veiny bastard.
I'd rather choose Up in Smoke over that.
I have Up in Smoke.
Oh, that's great.
Got
That's
it.
a great
It's
movie.
Cheech and Chong.
Okay, I know who that is.
I mean, it's an hour and a half just getting stoned.
It's an
But it was
old.
before.
I went to
Mike.
all of my stoner
Mike, that's
comedies.
Grandma's Boy.
It's a good one.
Anchorman.
I had Anchorman.
I had Anchorman on mine.
It's towards the bottom.
Don't say anything. Put on top.
It's
San Diego. Hills.
Naked Gun.
I have that on my list. I have
Talk
Naked
about
Gun.
it.
But, you know, the un-American or Canadian over
Yeah.
there.
Just on
It wasn't
that.
supposed to be offensive.
Great Outdoors is on my
Great
list.
Outdoors is better than Uncle Buck if you're gonna put
Yes,
one of the
I
two.
agree.
think so.
I think Great Outdoors is better than Uncle Buck.
You think the pancakes are big? Where do you see the toes?
The old 96er.
Clueless.
I have Clueless on the list.
I really like that movie, but not because it's funny.
That was house funny for me.
I believe so.
We have 28 movies,
Okay.
and we have these on the outside looking in as the first 4 plus.
I got a couple more.
Go.
What about Tropic Thunder?
I struggled through that
Oh,
one.
dude.
I struggled.
I've seen it.
Playing another dude.
Yeah, I've struggled on that one.
All right, that's fine. What about Friday?
I was debating on putting that on my list.
Friday?
Is that with
I can see that.
Lindsay where they switch?
No,
No,
that's Freaky Friday. This is so far from that.
That's why I was surprised. Like,
No.
It's got Chris Tucker and
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Devo.
The World is Ending movie. It came out in like about 10 years ago.
They all play
Oh.
themselves.
Yeah, they all play
With
themselves.
Franco.
Yes.
And the end is what's his face?
And Hermione's in it.
End of the
End of the
world.
world. I thought that was funny.
Do we get American Pie in?
Throw wherever.
Yeah.
Sorry, do we have enough Jim Carrey in there? Like, we don't need Ace Ventura, Cable Guy, all that.
Jim Carrey is my Will Ferrell.
Okay, fair enough.
So where are we at on our?
You guys
Yeah.
see-
What were the first 4 out?
Tucker
so far?
and
So we got 28 in, which they're not
Oh, that's correct.
Not
right
right.
in, but they're in.
They're in, right? Not
And
right.
here's the first 4 plus out. Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, Grandma's Boy, Strange Brew, Ted, Life of Brian, Police Academy, Stripes, The Other Guys, Black Sheep, Anchorman, Caddyshack, Waterboy, Stripes.
Boys on the
I think
outside
Police
looking in.
Academy should go up.
As much as it's going to hurt me, unless you guys disagree, I'm going to cut Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. Sorry.
I've never seen Young Frankenstein, so I don't.
That's painful.
One hurts a little bit because I found
And Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is one of my favorites.
And we didn't put Van Wilder on that list, right?
No.
Kingpin. Did we talk Kingpin?
We did Big Lebowski.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it for sure.
Another one that hurts, I'm going to cut Stripes.
See, I like Stripes. That's fine. I won't fight that one. The only 2 on my top 25 is Meet the Parents and Talladega Nights, and I could go with either of those or not.
I do have Talladega Nights out there, but I would not put Talladega above Ted or Grandma's Boy, even the Water Boy.
So
I-
now,
okay.
so now we've got Grandma's Boy, Strange Brew, Ted, The Other Guys, Black Sheep, Anchorman, Caddyshack, The Waterboy.
I think Caddyshack should go up.
See, I would take
But
Caddyshack.
we have
Of all
Happy
those,
Gilmore in there, not
I'm gonna
Caddyshack.
vote that
But of
thing
all
down
those, I
to
think
the first
Caddyshack
time. It's got great moments.
You want me to kill all the golfers?
Don't throw me in jail. Okay, kill the golfers.
And I'm no slouch myself.
Do drugs thing? Every day, sir. Good boy.
Come on. And then him cleaning the golf balls. Said, what's her face? Mrs. What's her name?
This is a group of golfers. Put that-
I can't fight for it. I have not seen
Go
it.
see it. I think you got to drop it in. There's all
Sure.
that list you
Hey.
had.
Put it in and give it to
I'll give you what?
Strange Brew.
Strange Brew.
It is hilarious.
Like, it,
I'm going to cut
it
the
really
other
is.
guys. Anyone arguing really hard against cutting the other guys?
No.
Did Talladega Nights make it? Because that's what our debate was. Other guys or Talladega Nights.
The other guys I think is awesome because it has multiple Prius references.
I should tell the Nights out.
So we've got 6 movies for 4 spots. Strange Brew, Ted, Black Sheep, Anchorman, Caddyshack, The Waterboy.
It's Caddyshack, Ted, and then 2 more.
And what are we debating?
Black Sheep.
Sheep and RV. I would go Waterboy. and
Waterboy's
Strange Brew
a-
only because Grunk loves it. I haven't seen it.
Waterboy has got to be ahead of Anchorman.
Mama's
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
I would be fine with that too, just because I haven't
Well,
seen
we
it.
only have one more. Strange Brew,
Battle of the Last 5.
Strange Brew, Anchorman, Waterboy, 1 goes in. Or if somebody wants to argue, we can cut, right? I mean, you know, we've got, again, Monty Python, Tommy Boy, Airplane, Happy Gilmore, Caddyshack. So, Strange Brew, Anchorman, Waterboy.
Waterboy, Strange Brew.
Of those 3, I think Anchorman goes out, right? All right, so we're done, right?
And
We have our top 32.
Yeah.
So the final 32, which next week we will break down into 4 brackets of 8. Airplane, American Pie, Austin Powers and Goldmember, Beer Fest, Caddyshack, Christmas Vacation, Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, Dumb and Dumber, Happy Gilmore, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, National Lampoon's Animal House, Office Space, Old School, Police Academy, Spaceballs, Step Brothers, Strange Brew, Super Troopers, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Ted, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Big Lebowski, The Bridesmaids, The Hangover, The Jerk, The Waterboy, There's Something About Mary, Tommy Boy, Trading Places, Up in Smoke, Vacation, and The Wedding Crashers.
That's a pretty damn good list.
All right, we'll see you on the next episode when we do the hard work of getting these into brackets seated 1 to 8 4 times.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers.